your thoughts on bringing your own device to work?
I feel like it's necessary. With one of our clients, whenever I get on the laptop and I try to look up something for the project that we're doing, if I go to YouTube, it's blocked, so I'm not able to access that information. There's a lot of information on Reddit that you're not able to access because it's all being blocked. So really, I feel like it's necessary. Plus, whenever I'm working personally, I like to listen to music and have it playing in the background, so I like having my own music with me.
I was working very closely with a writer here on a project, and he had asked me, something, and what I had sent back to him was, okay, period. Later in that session, when we were, panel prepping, he was just like, man, I thought you were so mad at me. You sent me that period, and man, that was the end of it, and then I tried calling you didn't pick up, and I thought I was in trouble, and so I guess the implications of just a very simple period is something that still bewilders me a bit. But in using something like let's say a smiley face at the end of that or a smiley emoji, do you think that would help alleviate your concerns?
No, whenever I would get a text message from somebody in my generation and they just put okay, period, like from a girlfriend or something like that, it's usually not a positive sign. So when I got it from my boss, I just kind of assumed the same and put two and two together. So okay with the smiley face, I mean, it's not, a lot of people worry about the professionalism there, but sometimes it's necessary. So I wouldn't hold it against somebody if they use emojis.
What would you guys actually, prefer to use in your opinions? Are you more of the traditional email chain users where you sift through, you find your attachments via email, you reference those, or are you more of an instantaneous Slack user?
I try to keep all my conversations to Slack or text just because it's faster, it's more laid back. I know not to send okay, period, so my my teammates are not afraid of me as much as I feel like an email is like the hand of God or something. It's a lot of pressure.
We sit next to each other and we Slack each other files. With teammates that are across the room, we just communicate constantly through Slack, and it makes things so much easier rather than with email.
What do you guys think about the damage that a bad social review can do to a business?
We were talking about how before we ever make a decision, well, at least us, we go on Google and search for the business or go on Yelp and look for a business to go to.
So would you say that a social review, Yelp, Google reviews, what have you, is the new word of mouth?
Yes.
Okay. What are your guys' thoughts on texting versus phone calls?
I personally prefer it to be texted unless it's going to be a conversation that's going to be over text. If it takes more than 10 text messages to get your point across, or 5, then I expect a phone call.
If I need to be able to multitask, then I'm almost never the one to start the phone call. But if someone on the other end is like, yeah, are you up for a call? And I'm like, sure. And then I'll just put it on speaker and keep doing whatever I'm doing. But otherwise, I'll just stop what I'm doing, I guess.
That is one thing I've definitely noticed is I will always text to say, hey, are you available for a call before I actually try calling that person. What do you guys feel about remote work, working from anywhere you want? Do you think that affects your work ethic? Do you think that conveys a bad perception of how much work you're actually getting done?
I've worked in cubicles before, and it stifles creativity, in my opinion. And I feel like I will do less work because I'm more prone to make up excuses to go to the bathroom or go get coffee or go to a coworker's desk and talk to them, as opposed to if I was sitting outside along the river walk working on whatever I needed to be working on, whatever project they needed to be. And I also feel like the workplace that the person picks is a comfort zone for them, and it'll help inspire creativity, as opposed to stifling it.
How do you feel that a company should frame themselves to successfully conform or to work better alongside this millennial mindset of remote work, of texting versus phone calls, or texting ahead of time to see if they have availability for a phone call? How do you think that companies should prep themselves?
It's what we really want is we want flexibility and we want to be listened to. At the end of the day, we know that you have been working longer. We know that you have a lot of experience, but don't shut down a millennial's like opinion just because they're young and you just think they don't know anything. We learn really fast and we work really hard, even if we look like we're being lazy because we're on the Riverwalk. We're the go and get it kind of people. If I don't respond to your email, it doesn't mean that I didn't already fix the problem. It just means that I decided it was more important to fix the problem than to respond to your email.
I kind of like having meetings because it like reinvigorates me and like makes me want to refocus on whatever I'm working on at that time. So it's like right after a meeting, I'll work for like 3 hours straight and then take a nap and then work for like 3 more hours.
When you guys were looking for jobs, what were some of the tools that you used to find potential companies?
I know, like personally, when I'm hiring people, like for my team, it's either Indeed or like personal referrals. Like we always try to go through our team's networks first, and then if we can't find anyone that we know is good, then we'll go to like Indeed and open it up to the market.
How do you feel that you guys could better conform or better work alongside, we'll say, that generation?
Being lazy isn't really like a generational thing. Like all generations have laziness in them. It's just like perception, I guess.
So speaking to being lazy, what I think the problem there is that being lazy and working on your own terms is kind of what people believe is lazy, working on your own terms. When people go, I want to go home, they might still want to work, but maybe home is more comfortable for them. They might work from there. And being entitled, and it's more of being passionate, and we do believe we can have it all.
56% of millennials leave a job every 2 years. And with that being said, it's vitally important to constantly make sure that I know that large corporations changing culture is like steering the Titanic. I know that from experience, but in a lot of articles that are out there now, a lot of these larger corporations are leaning towards startups for advice. How do you keep and retain your talent? How do you acquire these very smart people? Well, a lot of it has to do with breaking down the walls. You can read articles about the millennial mindset for days, but where the true feedback comes from is just asking us. We're open books in this generation.